Very interesting. Yesterday we were talking about the idea of jewelry on Shabbat. Um, we're on the Gemara on the bottom of Mem Vav and Aleph, Mem Vav Bet. We turned the page, and the Gemara introduced to us. The Gemara wanted to say, if we the last three words on Mem Vav 46a, Milo Tanya. Gemara wants to make a distinction between something which is a utensil that, since it's a utensil, it has you're not really separated from using it even in a type of use which is not so common, and therefore we say that according to the opinion of Reb Shimon, this lamp that's fueled with this naphtha fuel, we said it's still used. You still use it for covering a utensil, this lamp, and therefore, one of the rabbis says, therefore, it will not be considered muksa once the fire goes out. And the Gemara challenged that. Again, that's according to the opinion of Rav Shimon. We hold, since it was burning Ben Hashmashot, it was separated from it throughout the whole twilight time. You're separated from it throughout the Shabbat.
The issue here is whether it's the fact that it's a stinky lamp, whether that justifies it.
Right. The fact that it has that terrible odor, that means that you're separated from it for the whole Shabbat. And we said that there are people that do use it minimally, even with it sounds like with that bad odor, to cover a utensil. And therefore, there's an opinion that says it's not considered muksa. Again, that's only if you hold, like Rav Shimon, that something that's separated from you, twilight is not separated from all the Shabbat. We hold if it's separated from you, we would say that's really was muksa during twilight, if you muksa the whole Shabbat. And the Gemara wants to prove this point, that there's a distinction between something which was a utensil, like this lamp, that has multi-use, and a rock, which before Shabbat, that you didn't designate for use on Shabbat, even though that also can technically have potential to cover a utensil, but you didn't designate it. It's not used it's not a utensil when Shabbat came. That's considered separated from you. And you would not be able to pick up the rock from the ground on Shabbat and cover a utensil with that rock.
Right.
The Gemara proved that Milo Tanya, didn't we learn, and the Gemara showed this distinction, we have a Braita. That's now Memvav and Beis. What was the Braita? We have the Hasherim Vanizomim Vatabot. If you want to send to the group, Adam, the bracelets, the nose rings, and the rings. They have the status of like anything else that you're able to move in the chotzer. So, in the courtyard, which seems to indicate that this opinion holds that here we have jewelry. So Rashi says, even though you can't go out with the jewelry on Shabbat to public domain, and he quotes a Gemara later on, because we're afraid. What are we afraid of? No, we wearing. You can't wear jewelry on Shabbat. What's the reason? Because maybe you're going to take off the jewelry and show it to your friend.
That's good.
But and walk with it and carrying it, exactly, and carrying it. Like we were talking about the issue with wearing gloves, men wearing gloves on Shabbat in the public domain, that some are concerned that you might come to therefore there's some people that will morning asaf that will not wear the gloves on Shabbat. Some are concerned about that, but here, because they might come take off the glove to give a shake, But here, Rashi says, but it's a utensil. The jewelry are utensils, and you could move them as long as you're not wearing them. Which also indicates that even though this courtyard is a place where which is not a problem of carrying, If you say you can move them, it means there's no problem of carrying there, this courtyard. Now, courtyards are generally private areas, which is no problem of carrying. Now, if it's your own personal courtyard, you go from your house to that courtyard, it's only yours, then technically that's a private, that's no problem carrying. If you have a courtyard that's shared by multiple people, there's multiple houses that enter into a courtyard, then that courtyard, rabbinically, you need to do something. You need to make a rabbinic. You need to make an eruv to unite the members of the courtyard to allow you to carry from your house to the courtyard, and the courtyard to the house, because there's a concern. Since the courtyard is shared by multiple people, if you could carry from your house to your courtyard without doing anything, then you might come to carry from your house to the public domain. But there's a similarity to the public domain and a courtyard, which is shared by multiple people. Public domain is shared by many people, and the courtyard is shared by some people. So what we do is you take some food and you put it in one of the houses. Each member of the courtyard gives some food, and therefore that unite, and the food is put in one house as if they're all living in that house. It makes it like a one house to the courtyard. That seems to be that's called Eruv Chatzerot, you know. But
not from a string, from
right, it's not right. That's a different type of Eruv of collecting food. What they do is they usually use matzah today because you don't want to have because you have to use, you don't want to leave it over Pesach. If you use chametz, usually they remake it every year. The court every Erev Pesach. There's the laws about what to do, but make this Erev. So this courtyard, Rashi seems to indicate, is obviously a courtyard that you could carry, because we allow you to move. You can move the earrings. You can't wear the earrings on Shabbat. The ladies can't wear these earrings, and they can't wear these nose rings on Shabbat, but these bracelets on Shabbat outside in public domain. And it seems here they can't even wear even in the courtyard. Because if you're going to allow them to wear it in the courtyard, they're going to come to wear it in the public domain. If they wear it in the public domain, they might come to take it off and carry it. That's what it would seem like from the Rashi. So now we had the question yesterday, what, women are wearing jewelry today. Are they wearing jewelry today on Shabbat? And you don't hear anybody say that, ladies, you can't be wearing this jewelry. Right? And in the same way they can't wear it in the courtyard, maybe they wouldn't be able to wear it in the house.
the courtyard is forbidden.
The courtyard the courtyard, the domain of a courtyard, if it would not have an Eruv, if you didn't make then it'll be a rabbinic problem. But but here it's clear that it's a courtyard you're able to carry. There's no problem.
With or without the food being.
Either because it was a private courtyard that you didn't need to have the food.
Okay, regardless of how you get there.
How you get there, there's no issue of carrying this courtyard, and nevertheless you can't wear it. Which
I see the point. The point is, even in a place where you can't carry it, wearing it as an additional thing. So clearly the prohibition of wearing it is not because you might carry it.
not because you might carry in the courtyard, might carry it in the public domain. The concern is because if you wear it in the courtyard, you might wear it in public domain. And you wear it in public domain, the concern is you might come take it off.
Oh, okay.
The issue is by carrying the public domain. That seems to be the whole concern is it would seem, is that you might come to carry it, meaning the rabbis are making a safeguard. When the rabbis make safeguards, they make a safeguard to protect Torah law. They don't make a safeguard to protect rabbinic law. Right? It's not the general way. Sometimes it looks like a safeguard protecting the rabbinic law, but that's only because we need that safeguard. Without that, the Torah law wouldn't be. For example, good morning. Here's the example. They can't wear it in the morning, the jewelry in the courtyard. Why can't they wear the jewelry in the courtyard? Because they might come to wear it outside. Wearing outside is not a problem. But when we're wearing, I mean, on a Torah level, you can wear jewelry in the street. But the problem is, if you wear it outside, you might come to take it off.
Right, so by not allowing to wear it outside, that protects against for a prohibition of carrying that. So.
Right, but not so right, so, exactly. And by not letting him wear it even in the courtyard, it's necessary to protect the rule that they shouldn't come to remove it in the public domain.
In a way, it seems like a fence on a fence.
Right, it would seem like it seems like a fence on a fence, but you have to say that this fence is not it will not be under the category of fence on a fence. But if we allow them to wear it in the courtyard, we're never gonna be able to make the fence not to wear it in the public domain. Meaning this is vitally necessary.
People taking off jewelry at the entrance to the courtyard. Because
Or the entrance to the public
I
domain.
mean, the public domain and courtyard.
But the public domain courtyard is right next to each other.
Right,
If you're gonna,
walk in the courtyard,
if you're wearing it in the courtyard, you can wear it in the public domain. Exactly. Therefore, if we're not going to say at the entrance to the public domain, oh, you'll take it off. Wear it in the courtyard, and the entrance to the public domain, you'll take it off. And based on that logic, Adam, some point out, even in the house, you can't wear the jewelry in the house. Someone holds on Shabbat. Why can't you wear the jewelry in the house? If she's wearing the jewelry in the house, you can wear it in the public domain. She's wearing the house. Before she leaves the house, she'll take off the jewelry.
it's not so much a wall on a wall, it's more an extension of the wall.
Exactly. Very well said. And therefore, according to this, you wouldn't even be able to wear it in the house itself, because you wear the jewelry in the house, you might come to what you wear in public domain, wear public domain, you come to remove it. That is the issue. And nevertheless, even though it is forbidden for her to wear, but she's allowed to move it. It's not muktzeh. These earrings, these nose rings, she can't wear it. And the normal way of using it is to wear it. And she's separated from wearing it. But the fact is, it has some other use. It's a utensil. It has other use. So therefore, it's not muktzeh. The woman is not separated from handling this item by the fact that it's generally used in a way that she can't use it. Similarly, and therefore, if she wants to take this nose ring and she wants to show it to somebody, or she wants to go ahead and move it to whatever purpose, this does not have a status of muktzeh, because it has other uses, whatever that use might be, as a utensil, as a usable item that it's on my mind, that, since it is a utensil, it is something that is used. I use it during the week. So now on Shabbat, I won't use it to put it on to wear, but maybe I'll use it for some other function, to hold down the papers when or maybe I'll use it to leave it on the table, so the table, move it because the table, or that the table shouldn't be muktzeh, but should not be, or just supporting a muktzeh item, or be supporting a non-muktzeh item, or whatever the use might be that I'll use for that jewelry, and therefore that's not called muktzeh. And for Ula, if you look at the on Vim Vav and Beis, Ula says, so it says Hashirim, Banazamim, morning Boker Tov. The Shirim and the Zamim and the Tabot, these bracelets and these nose rings and these rings, Hari Henke, good morning, Joseph. Good to see you. Hari Hu Henke Chola Kelim and Ital B'Chotzeh. It's like all the utensils that are moved, anything that you move in a courtyard that you're able to carry. For Amma Ula, and Ula says, Ma Tam. What is the reason why you can move them? Why are they considered muktzeh? Is hoyol v'ike torat kli aleh, because it's a utensil, something that's used. I use it, so I can't use it on Shabbat to wear, but I could go ahead and use it in some other fashion. Here also by this lamp fueled by the neft, It has the status of a utensil, and therefore I could go ahead and move it according to Reb Shimon once the fire went out. Rav Nachman Yitzchak says, Brich Rachmana, blessed be the one, the merciful one. Hashem was called the Rachmana. Hashem is called like Rachamim. And Rachamim is what? Chus v'rachem aleinu. Right, Joseph? To have mercy on us. Hashem has many names. He's called the Ribono Shel Olam. He's the master of the world. He's called HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the blessed be one. He's also called Rachmana, the all-merciful one. Each one describes, something about God. And blessed be Hashem that he gave Rav Avia an answer to the question of Rava, the Lo Kasifei, Rava Rav Avia. That Rava did not embarrass Rav Avia. Right, Joseph? To embarrass someone is a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. And Hashem protected, in a certain sense, Hashem protected Rava. Not only protected Rav Avia, that Rav Avia wasn't embarrassed from the questions that Rava asked him, but it also protected Rava that he should not have on his account that he did something not right. Meaning, if you embarrass somebody, it's a very bad thing to embarrass somebody, right? And the Torah is protected both the rabbi that he didn't embarrass him, because if he would have stumped him with the question and he would not have had an answer, right? Because remember, Rava was upset with Rav Avia, and even though Rav Avia had good intentions why he did what he did with the shoes on the bed, right, which were not clean, and which the commentators are trying to understand what was the reason why he did that. But you don't put your shoes on the bed if the shoes are dirty, right, Joseph? But I would say, and Rava wanted to ask him certain questions, and maybe show him that he has to, shape up or whatever it is. And the fact that he did not stump him, so Rava does not have it that he embarrassed him. And an obvious question is how, obviously Rava wanted to stump him. Obviously he felt that Rav Avia did something wrong. Therefore that was a way of getting him to reflect on himself and to tshuva and repent. Now, in Shulchan Aruch, we mentioned yesterday that the Shulchan Aruch is going to discuss why is it that ladies wear jewelry today on Shabbat? If the Gemara says that there's an issue that they can't wear it on Shabbat because we're afraid they might come take it off and carry it. So in Siman Shin Gimel 303 in Shulchan Aruch, he says, first he says that the prohibition of wearing jewelry is only in public property and to a courtyard that you can't carry. But a courtyard that you could carry, this opinion would say it's not a problem for the lady to wear jewelry in her house, in a courtyard, which is different than our Gemara, right? Because our Gemara seems to be saying you can't wear in the courtyard as well. And then he brings a second opinion that says that whatever you can't go out with in public property, you can't even wear it in the house. And certainly if you can't wear it in the house, you can't wear it in the courtyard, which is closer to the public property. So those are the two extremes. The house, I'm saying some say the issue is only you can't wear it in public property, but the house and courtyard you can wear it. Some say you can't even wear it even in the house.
So Shulchan Aruch records both opinions.
He records both opinions, and then the third opinion was that you can't wear it in the courtyard that doesn't have an Erev. Good morning, David. So we'll have. Oh, very good. The Shulchan Aruch is the bottom line, halacha. But he showed his work he wrote a sefer called the Beit Yosef. Anyone heard Rabbi Yosef Cairo, right, David? It's called the Beit Yosef. He wrote a commentary called the Beit Yosef on the Torah. What happened was, let's say you had the Rambam codified the law, and you had, let's say, the Rif of Yitzchak Al-Fasi, and then you had the Tur wrote, the son of the Rush, he wrote a commentary in Halacha, and then on that commentary, he wrote a Halacha sefer called the Tur, and on that there was a very extensive commentary called the Beit Yosef. The Beit Yosef, he brings on more things. They'll sometimes argue on the Torah, or agree with the Torah, and he wrote a very long commentary, and then he wrote his bottom line in the Shulchan Aruch. Here he just tells you the law. He didn't tell us what was homework. You have to look at the Beit Yosef to see his homework. So David, just to bring you up to date, the times of the Gemara forbade the women to wear jewelry on Shabbat. And what was clear is they forbade them to wear the jewelry in a public domain. Now, in a public domain in Reshut Rabim, you can't carry on Shabbat. You could technically on a Torah level, there's no problem wearing jewelry on Shabbat. Right? What's the problem? It's like part of your body. You're not carrying it. It's not something that you're carrying. Go ahead. If you carry a key in your pocket on Shabbat, that's called carrying. But jewelry is like part of you, and it becomes part of you, so to speak. You could say it's not. It makes you look better, right? It's just an extension of you in a certain sense. So it's not. And you're wearing it. That's not called carrying, right? Nobody's going to say jewelry is called carrying. With that being said, the Gemara says that the rabbis enacted a rabbinic law forbidding women to wear jewelry on Shabbat. And the question is, which areas, which locales, if that's the right word, did the rabbi say women can't wear jewelry on Shabbat? Now, what's the issue? What's wrong with the women wearing jewelry? Let them look, it's a nice thing. What's the problem? So the Gemara says we're concerned that the women will take off the jewelry in the public domain and show it to their friends and carry it while they're doing that process. How do you like that, David? Oh, I gotta look. You want to look at my bracelet? Or can I see it? You got your name inscribed on it? Or is it real? It's real? Right. The guy will do this. So we have to see more about
I think times have changed.
right. We have to see about the men as well. You have to see if the men show things off the same way. Yeah, you have to see it. Do the men, are the men show off as the stuff as much as women or not? We have to see if that's the norm of a man or not.
I thought that more. Maybe I'm thinking an earlier period. Like I'm thinking like the Mount Sinai period, right? Because back those days, it was a different jewelry situation.
The men had their jewelry, the women had their jewelry. Like the men took the jewelry off the women forcefully to use for the golden calf. But the women did not want to give the jewelry. Aaron HaKohen thought, you know what? Then they're not going to be able to make the golden calf because they're not going to get the women to give their gold. But he was right. The women didn't give, but the men took it by force.
I thought the men had their own gold.
But they also took the women's gold. Okay. They took the women's stuff too. Women had a lot of stuff. And so here the Gemara, what's clear is that at least there's a prohibition for rabbinic law. She can't wear jewelry out on public property on Shabbat. How do you like that, David? She can't wear it in public property, public domain. What about the privacy of her house? Could she wear the jewelry? That's a matter of discussion. Because do we say if they wear the jewelry in the house, they're going to wear it in public domain, and therefore they're going to come carry it. They might come to carry it. So we have different opinions whether she can wear it in the house, whether she could wear it in a courtyard. So that's a discussion. And there is an opinion. There's an opinion that says that the only place that they forbade the women to wear jewelry is only in the public domain. But in a courtyard, even if the courtyard has no eruv, right? You have a courtyard in front of your house. And we said beforehand, if there's multiple houses that open up into a courtyard, right? We have three house, one, two, three, and then we have a courtyard in front of the house, and we share the courtyard. The front lawn that's shared, the front area, we do stuff in the courtyard, but it's shared space. You got me? So shared space on Shabbat in front of the house is and then after you have that shared space, let's say, now the issue is, and then the shared space opens up, let's say, into public domain, let's say. But the concern is, if we have shared space in front of the house, even let's say the lobbies of your building, right? The lobbies of your building is shared space. Who does that space belong to? All the members of the building. If I carry from my apartment to the lobby, and David carries from his apartment to the lobby, to the hallway, and Adam and Joseph, which resembles a public area, people might come to carry from my house actually into the public domain, because this space is the same way I carried into this shared area in the hallway. I might come to carry into the shared area outside. So the rabbi said there's some sort of eruv chatzerot that we do. We make some sort of thing that each member gives some food to unite all the members like they're one. But the idea is, but there are those that say that this prohibition, the prohibition of wearing jewelry, some say is only limited if you're wearing it in public domain. But if you would go into a courtyard, and let's say that courtyard is like some courtyards that you didn't make the eruv, you didn't unite the members, and therefore you can't carry in that courtyard. There are certain courtyards that you can't carry. Now, can you wear the jewelry in that courtyard? Okay, because it's one step earlier. Meaning, because if I would take off the jewelry in the courtyard, I would not be violating a Torah law. Right. Meaning, taking off the jewelry and carrying in a courtyard is a rabbinic issue.
Okay, the idea that you can't carry in a courtyard
is a rabbinic issue. But can't carry in public domain is a Torah issue. So the most lenient opinion, meaning we had all extremes. We had one opinion that says you can't even wear the jewelry in the house. We had one opinion that says that you can't wear the jewelry. You're allowed to wear the jewelry in the house. You're allowed to wear it in the courtyard. Even a courtyard that doesn't have an eruv that you can't carry, there's an opinion that says you can wear the jewelry in that courtyard. Okay? But the only place that you can't wear the jewelry is in a domain that's identified as a public domain according to Torah law. Now, in the days of the Shulchan Aruch, or for many years, the type of communities that the people lived in but many would say, so some would say it did not have a status of a public domain according to Torah law. Because in order to be a public area according to the Torah law, you need to have, let's say, some say you need 600,000 people, good morning, to be in that area using those streets. Meaning in the desert, when the Jewish people, right, when they came to Midbar Sinai, they came out of Egypt, and then the Torah was given, right? We're 33 days into the counting towards the holiday of Shavuot. When the holiday came, right, the public domain that was used in the desert, the Torah counts 600,000 men over the age of 20.
So isn't it fast forward to small towns?
So
in Spain,
small
France?
towns, for small towns in France and Spain, well, you didn't have 600,000 people living in those areas. So those areas would have a rabbinic status of a public domain, meaning it would only be rabbinically a problem to carry in those places, not biblically.
So it's like being in a suburb in Long Island.
Right. Or New Jersey.
Right.
And therefore, and according to the opinion that says that the rabbi's fence of not wearing jewelry on Shabbat was only in a public domain, a Torah public domain. So if our communities, if the areas that we're in, if the status of the area is a rabbinic public domain, so the rabbis will not make the prohibition to wear jewelry in those places, because even if I carry it and I take it off and the lady shows it to her friend, it will not be a violation of the Torah, because it's the whole area is only what a rabbinic domain it's only forbidden rabbinically to carry in that place. And the rabbis will not make the fence for the for a fence for rabbinic law. Good morning. So therefore, that's why some want to say that is the explanation for the women today, why the women are wearing jewelry today.
But rather, we're back in the big cities today.
Oh, we're back in the big cities. You're right. So now you're back in the big cities now. So now the big cities like New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn. So that's a very controversial, I say, big question. Do our streets, have a status of a public domain according to the Torah, like you're suggesting, which Moshe Feinstein held, and therefore you would have an issue according to that wearing it, and therefore that's where Moshe Feinstein says you can't make an Erev here in Manhattan. Moshe Feinstein says, because you can't make an Erev in Brooklyn. Moshe Feinstein says, because he interprets these areas have a status of a public, right, David? He holds that that's why you'll see there are many people that don't use the Erev here in Manhattan. They don't use the Erev in Brooklyn. Not everyone's using Erev in Brooklyn. Not everyone's using Manhattan. Why not? Because Moshe Feinstein was asked the question, and he said, these are public domains and you can't make an Erev, making the string and showing, that only works on a domain that has a status rabbinically prohibited to carry, but not on a domain that's biblically prohibited to carry. And therefore, that would be, then you would get back to your question about how do the women wear jewelry according to Moshe Feinstein, right? Now, so the Ramah, now the Ashkenaz rabbi says something else. Some people give an answer that today jewelry is not uncommon. People are wearing jewelry during the weekdays also. It seems like it was most probably people used to wear, women in the old days, for Shabbat and happy special occasions. You put on jewelry. There was a novelty item. So you get a piece of jewelry, you might want to take it off and show it to your friend. You know, the whole week you didn't see me with this piece on me, on this necklace, this bracelet. But today, where it's so the standards have gone up, or it's common that women got jewelry even wear during the week. There's not such a concern that they're going to take it off and show it on Shabbat. You know, they had the whole week to show it.
But the Ramah recorded that 500 years ago.
Right. Right, exactly. Meaning before that time period, meaning from the time of the Gemara, where the Gemara said there's a problem, that it wasn't so common the women had the jewelry during the week. There's a point to someone, that's what someone is suggest. And therefore, because he says it wasn't a concern like those days that they only went out with the jewelry on Shabbat. And it wasn't so common. How do you like that, David? But today, that at 600, 700 years ago, already started more common to women during the week, and therefore we're not so concerned that the women are going to take off. They're going to take off their jewelry. There's another answer that's given that, you know what? If you tell the women not to wear the jewelry, they're not going to listen to you. They think you're not saying something that makes sense, and better that the women should do it, should be doing unintentionally than intentionally do something. Even women are holy, they're from the holiest people, but this is one of those things that they're not going to buy. And if you tell them not to wear the jewelry, then what, I'm wearing jewelry, I'm not carrying. So therefore they're not gonna, they might not accept it. If you don't want them to do it intentionally, so we don't protest against them. That is another reason, which we very rarely say only under certain circumstances. It's usually the women are great. Have a great day, everybody. David, fascinating or what? The people are beautiful. Exactly. Right. The problem is that the people out there don't act properly. That's the problem.
Well said.
People say, "Oh, the world's crazy." The world's not crazy. The people, those people are corrupting the beautiful. Look at the world. Look at a beautiful world. Do you know how big the sun is, David? You know how many Earths could fit into one sun? 1.8 million Earths fit into one sun. That's what they say. I can't say it's true, but I want you to look it up. How many Earths fit? Do we have an understanding what kind of world God made? I say if you want to make someone believe in God, just ask them how many Earths could fit into one sun. Look into that.
I like that.
And also think about how many stars there are, David.
Yes.
Right. Maybe
1.8 million
Earth to get it to one sun.
One sun.
Right. And then ask yourself how big is a star? And how many stars are there in the world? And you'll be blown away. Find out how many stars there are and how big is a star. Okay. Put back. I'm looking forward. Great day, everybody.